we're going to go into a classroom of younger children, students from grades 2 to 5. I think it's the grade 5s that we're going to look at in this project. And this project is mathematics identity texts. And the teacher involved in this project is the teacher by the name of Jennifer Fannin. She's, again, one of our very multicultural TDSB schools, George Webster. And she was noticing that in the commercially prepared mathematics materials that elementary teachers are using in their classrooms, there's not very much that relates to kids' personal, authentic lives. And she wanted to, again, bring in the identity side of things together with the language learning side of things. And in this case, the concepts of mathematics are also included. So she actually worked directly with Jim Cummins here. They got some type of a grant. And the work that you're going to see is from the identity text project that her class has created. They made books. They published hardcover books on mathematics topics. One is on addition and subtraction, and one is on elapsed time using timelines. And you'll see through the creation of these books how the students are able to interweave their own experiences, their own families and lives, and use that as the basis for learning mathematical concepts and improving their English around these mathematical concepts. So that's their book, Our Ages. Where are the kids? Carlos, his mother and sister. My mom was 22 years old when I was born. And they included their notes of how they worked out how to subtract and how to figure out the difference between their ages. This is a Roma family in the community. In the last number of years, do you all know about the Roma community? So in the last number of years, we've had quite a number of Roma students come to the Toronto District School Board, and this is a Hungarian-speaking Roma family. And again, when I was born, my mom was X years old, and here's how it worked out, the subtraction. There's Jia and her grandfather. It'll take her 72 more years to become her grandfather's age. This has so much power and so much direct relevance to the kids' lives, and packs a really special punch in terms of the kids learning the mathematical concepts and gaining the language at the same time. Here's another group of kids. Now this is another book that they did together. This one's called Life After the School Day. Grade 5 students share their lives through mathematics, and that's Miss Fannon's class. And you can see some of the identity text writing and mathematical concepts that are represented in this book. I spend most of my time watching TV and reading a book. I spend some of my time doing homework and a little amount of my time walking home. And there's her chart that shows all the different divisions in elapsed time at the end of her school day. There are some of the pictures of the kids with their different charts. I like this one. He talked about what he got out of this activity. When I look at other people's timelines, it tells me what I should do more and what I shouldn't do. So some of them are maybe playing video games and watching TV more than others. Oh, that's in there for something else. Okay, and that's Jennifer Fannin, showing one of her students. Another art project that I'd like to share with you now, an art identity text project, is the Islington mural project. So a number of years ago, the municipal government sponsored the creation of 18 huge street art mural panels depicting 150 years of community of Islington villages. This is a part of Toronto which was like a little community many, many years ago, and then as Toronto got bigger, you kind of swallowed up Islington Village. So the ESL teacher in this class, Anne Kong, decided that she wanted to take advantage of the murals and the history that the kids could learn about the community to somehow, again, bring this back to their own lives, their own identities, and the creation of an art and text project. So the kids did a walk around their community. They prepared a book with their experiences and reflections on their walk, and then they created their own mural. And you'll see some of that. You'll see some of the murals that may make you want to go out to Islington and Dundas. So here's their lead up to the walk, their KWL chart, what they want to learn about the murals. There's a calendar, a community calendar, that's been created with the murals. So they had all kinds of questions on Post-it notes. And then they brainstormed different questions, inquiry questions that they could talk about and potentially answer from their mural walk. And there they are getting ready. That's Miss Kong in the front, getting ready to go out on their mural walk. There they are in front of the first mural. These are huge murals. Like they're the width of one of these classroom walls, and they're 3 or 4 times as wide. So they depict also daily life 100 to 150 years ago, including craftspeople and leisure activities and the foods that were eaten at that time. And sometimes the humans standing in front tend to just kind of blend right into the murals. So these are all pages from the class book that the kids wrote. You see the different historical buildings that were in that area. Kids feel like they're actually petting the horses. And this one is interesting. It's kind of like a little refreshment stand. And it's almost like you could reach in there and get the refreshments. The kids really like getting up close to that. There's Miss Kwan in front of the mural of Glen Wool. And there are the learning goals when they got back. And the students working on the painting portion of the identity text. And there is part of, they did a triptych with 3 panels. That's part of the mural that they created. And there's the full view. So again, another very beautiful project integrating English text, artwork, history, and their own lives. Another student-created book. This one was a joint project between English language learners and students who were not English language learners in a class called, in a school called Scarborough Village. And the focus of this book was a social justice lens. And they worked with kids from JK through to grade 4 and highlighted different facets of each student's identity, whether it be gender, economic background, linguistic, religion, family composition, and so on. And each child designed and wrote the text for 1 page.
What do you see when you look at me? What do you see when you look at me?
Written and illustrated by students in grades JK to 4 from Scarborough Village Public School and North Bendale Junior Public School.
What do you see when you look at me?
This book is dedicated to all students who give teachers the privilege of sharing who you are. What do you see when you look at a flower? Do you see that it is made up of many parts? Each and every petal makes the flower that much more beautiful. Like how a beautiful flower is made up of many petals, there are many things about you that make you the unique person that you are. Let's find out what makes each of us special.
What do you see when you see me wear my beautiful hijab? Do you see that I want you to see me for who I am on the inside and not for who I am on the outside?
What do you see when I eat with my chopsticks? Do you see that this is how my family and I eat at home?
What do you see when I bring my doll for show and tell? Do you see that I love taking care of her? What do you see when you see the medicine wheel on my knapsack? Do you see that it teaches me about the 4 seasons, stages of life, and different races of people? We need to live in harmony, balance, and respect for all things in life.
What do you see when I wear my bindi or puttu? Do you see that it keeps me centered and focused on faith?
What do you see when you look at the ackee tree? Do you see that ackee is cooked with saltfish to make Jamaica's national dish? It can be eaten for breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
What do you see when you see my grandpa drop me at school? Do you see that he walks me to school every morning because my parents work the night shift and go to bed when I wake up?
What do you see when I wear my awesome turban? Do you see that it was a special gift given to me by Guru Gobind Singh Ji, and I want to take special care of it?
What do you see when you see me break a plate? Do you see that I am happy and celebrating?
What do you see when I give my teacher a cupcake? Do you see that I baked it last night with my dad? I want to be a famous baker when I'm older.
What do you see when I carry the lotus? Do you see that it reminds me to always be helpful, loving, and caring towards others?
What do you see when there's a big pot of cabbage and corned beef simmering on my cooker? Do you see that my family and I always have enough dinner for ourselves and our friends who might drop in, just like in Nova Scotia?
What do you see when I place my aunt's hand on my forehead? Do you see that this is called mano? I do it to show her respect and receive her blessing. What do you see when I play a steel pan? Do you see that I love playing these drums during the carnival?
What do you see when I place my tiny dolls under my pillow? Do you see that a Venezuelan legend says that when I do this, they make all my worries go away by the morning?
What do you see when I just have carrots and some crackers for lunch? Do you see that my parents can always give me a bigger lunch because we don't have the money to go grocery shopping all the time?
What do you see when I shoot hoops at recess? Do you see that I want to play in the women's NBA in the future?
What do you see when I have my Chandi flags on my porch? Do you see that each flag represents a different god in Hinduism?
What do you see when I walk my little brothers to school? Do you see that I teach him my little brother how how to add and subtract?
What do you see when I walk into a synagogue? Do you see that this is where Jewish people pray?
What do you see when I break cola nuts? Do you see that my family breaks this nut during special celebrations, just like in Nigeria?
What do you see when I crush tomatoes with my nana? Do you see that we're making homemade spaghetti sauce? Her nana taught her this recipe when she was a little girl. What do you see when I wear my colorful skeleton masks? Do you see that I'm celebrating Dia de los Muertos? This is a day when my family and I honor our ancestors. What do you see when I run to my mom's car after school? Do you see that I'm excited because we're having kofta chalo for dinner? It's a famous dish from Afghanistan.
What do you see when I try to crack my friend's egg with mine? Do you see that this is a popular tradition that my family and I do for Greek Easter? If my egg remains uncracked by the end of the game, I will have good luck for the whole year.
What do you see when I wear this colorful shirt? Do you see that it is a kente cloth that was woven in Ghana?
What do you see when I play with my best friend on the playground? Do you see he lives in the same apartment? And it's the best because there's always someone to play with.
What do you see when I fix the wheels of my yellow toy car at recess? Do you see that I want to build the world's largest car when I'm older?
Do you see when I draw the moon? Do you see that it tells me when to break my fast during Ramadan?
What do you see when I play spoons on my knee? Do you see that my parents grew up making their own musical instruments in Newfoundland? What do you see when I take my hat off inside my house? Do you see that this is one way children from Zimbabwe show respect to their elders?
What do you see when my aunt comes with my class to the science center? Do you see that she takes care of me all day? Because my parents live in another country. They sent me to Canada to get a great education.
What do you see when you look at yourself?
The authors think you are perfect!
Kids integrating English language development with putting their own identities on every page. And there are lots of different services online. I know there's one through Apple, but there's some other companies as well, where you can have these books published either in a hardcover or a softcover format, and that's what we usually do. And that is Cynthia on our right, and Cynthia Subramanian, and Shirley, who was the central ESL teacher, who was really the driving force behind building the technological capacity among all the teachers, because we did a whole year worth of training with the teachers so that they could learn how to use